Hi, my name is Rachel Paxton, and today I'm going to show you how to make strawberry basil vinaigrette. In this class, you'll learn how to make and can strawberry basil vinaigrette. I'll lead you through the process step by step. I'll also give you the recipe and the canning supply list that you can download and print out. Those are in your course materials. You'll also gain the confidence you need to try more canning recipes on your own. My name is Rachel Paxton, and I'm a freelance writer and mom of 5 children ages 28 to 6. I've been canning for more than 20 years, and I'm the owner of the website creativehomemaking.com. For this recipe, you're going to need 16 cups of sliced strawberries, 3 cups of white vinegar, 6 cups of sugar, and a half a cup of fresh basil leaves. This will make approximately 4 pints or 8 half pints. You can easily cut this recipe in half or double it if you'd like. You're also going to need a boiling water canner, a canning rack if you're using your own stock pot to can, a jar lifter, a food mill or fine mesh strainer, a wide mouth funnel, and 4-pint canning jars. This is what a boiling water canner looks like. If you don't already have one, you're going to need to get one. You can also use a large stock pot to can, as long as it's tall enough that you can have an inch of water above your jars when they're in the pan. If you're going to use a stock pot, you're going to need a canning rack in the bottom of it. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. If you want to buy a boiling water canner, you can get them on Amazon for about $30 with all the accessories that come with it. There's a link to this in the supply list in your course materials. This is what the canning rack looks like. It comes with your canning kit, but if you're going to use your own stock pot for canning, you're going to want to buy one of these to put in the bottom of it so your jars don't sit on the bottom of the pan. These cost about $10. This is what a jar lifter looks like for taking your jars in and out of the pan. Your wide mouth funnel sits in the jar so that you can put your food in the jar easily without spilling. A food mill is optional. You can use a food mill or a fine mesh strainer for this recipe. I will show you how to use the strainer. They're a little bit less expensive, but basically you need to have something like this to get the seeds and the pulp of your strawberries out because you want to end up with a clear liquid. These are about $40. You can get these on Amazon also. I use mine a lot for different things when I'm canning, so if you're going to can a lot, you might want to invest in one of these. There's a link to this in your supply list also. This is what the fine mesh strainer looks like. You can use this also. These are less than $10. You can buy a set of different sizes of these really inexpensively, and it does the same thing as the food mill. It just takes a little bit more effort, but I'll show you how to use this in the recipe. First thing you want to do is fill your canner about 3/4 full with water and heat the water to boiling. Put your jars, rings, and lids in the dishwasher to sterilize them. If you don't have a dishwasher, you can either wash them in really hot water in the sink or boil them in water on the stove till you're ready to use them, but it's easiest to do it in the dishwasher. You want to measure your sliced strawberries in vinegar. This is actually a 2-day recipe. You need to soak your strawberries in vinegar overnight before you actually prepare the vinaigrette. So place your strawberries in a bowl or measuring cup and pour the vinegar over them and cover them with plastic wrap and just let it sit on the counter overnight. Or you could put it in the refrigerator. The next day, you'll notice that your strawberries are really soft after absorbing the liquid, and you want to make sure that all the juice comes out of your strawberries for your vinaigrette. You don't want any of that to go to waste. So to remove the seeds and pulp from your liquid, you want to press your strawberries through the fine mesh strainer like this. There's different size ones that you can get. There's a link to one of these in your course materials on the supply list, but you can get these at Walmart also. All you have to do is take a spoon like I have in the picture here and press the strawberries against the sieve, and the juice will come through but not the seeds and the pulp. You can also use a food mill to do this. You want to end up with a clear liquid, so press your strawberries a little bit at a time through your sieve until all of the liquid is removed, and then throw the strawberry seeds and pulp away. Next, you want to add your sugar to the strawberry vinegar juice that you have left. Bring it to a boil, stirring constantly. You don't want it to burn. Next, you want to stir in the chopped basil. You don't have to use fresh basil. You could use dried basil. Use a couple tablespoons of it, but it does taste better with the fresh basil. Next, you want to ladle your hot liquid into your sterilized jars, leaving a 1/2 inch headspace. The headspace is the amount of space between the top of the liquid and the top of the jar. You need to make sure to have the correct amount of headspace. Your food will expand in the jar when it's processing, and you need to make sure there's enough room in there for it to process so the jar doesn't break during canning. So whatever the recipe says for your headspace, that's how much space you want to leave at the top of the jar. In this recipe, it's a 1/2 inch. You want to wipe the rims of your jars with a damp towel or paper towel to make sure that there's no liquid on the top of your jar that would keep it from sealing. So wipe those off really well and place your lids and rings on the jars just finger tight. Place your jars in the water. You want to make sure that the water is 1 inch above your jars. If it's not, you need to add some more water. And bring the water to a boil if it's not boiling already. And after it starts boiling, you want to process it for 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes is up, use your jar lifter to carefully take your jars out and put them on the counter on a towel to cool. You should hear a pinging noise when the jar is sealed. They may seal in your canner, or it may take a few minutes for them to seal as they cool off on the counter. You'll know if it's sealed or not you'll hear a pinging noise when they seal, but you won't always hear it if it happens in the canner. The way you can tell if your jar is sealed is by pressing down on the center of the lid with your finger. If it pushes down and up again, it's not sealed, but if it is flat and doesn't move, then it is sealed. If you do happen to have some that don't seal, there's 2 different things you can do. You can either reprocess them you would have to use a new lid, but with a new lid and a ring, you could reprocess it for another 10 minutes and hopefully it will seal again the next time. Or you can put it in the refrigerator and eat it within the next couple of weeks. But your sealed jars you can store in a cool, dark area for 1 to 2 years or more. And that's it. This salad dressing is really good. I know fruit salad dressing is a little bit different thing for me. I'm not used to having sweet salad dressings like this, but it's actually really good on any kind of salad and coleslaws and things like that. So if you want to try something different or have something different to give give to people for gifts for Christmas, this is a fun thing to try. And it's a fun thing to make with the strawberries and basil you grew in your garden. So give it a try and see what you think. I hope you like it.